sellhousearizona.com, and Paul Romero, yours truly, of sellhousearizona.com, here to discuss what you get when you decide to work with us and learn how to become a real estate wholesaler. From day one, at no cost to you, except for a few standard expenses, some fuel, what else?
You need a phone.
Yep, fuel and a phone bill. There you go. Except for pretty much those two things, we get you started right away, not trying to figure out what to put on your business cards or where to go get bandit signs or any of that, for lack of a better word, that's going to take you forever going nowhere, okay? We're going to get you started right out of the gate on proprietary leads. They're going to have you closing a deal within your first 69 days. And basically what we do here, John, is bring them in and get them set up with a group of leads, right? That's pretty much how we started out.
Yeah, that's basically it. We get you started with 25 leads right out the gate. We have those leads in a pre-designed spreadsheet. There's some mechanics to how the spreadsheet works and what to do with each lead within that spreadsheet as things progress. But essentially, we will explain that process to you and hold your hand through it. And it's just an organized way to keep your leads so that you can track them, track everything from the lead that's been generated to each step from when to follow up on that lead, when to make an offer to that lead, if the lead is when the lead becomes dead and for what reason, and also what leads you're going to knock on the door and what leads that you're going to call or what lead you may be sending a mailer out to. And this spreadsheet we have tracks all that in a very organized manner from steps 1 through 10, and we'll basically show you that spreadsheet that we've designed ourselves and acclimate you to how to organize it. And it's really quite simple.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You might be thinking, 25 leads, come on, what's that going to do? I know this is a game of numbers. I got to have a whole lot of leads in order to find a deal. Well, here's the thing. See, 25 leads is just to get you started and get you acclimated with the spreadsheet that John's talking about. Throughout the process of the first week and working those 25 leads, you're going to start to familiarize yourself with what goes into the spreadsheet, where it goes, and how to process each lead once you've made some contact with a potential seller or whatever, however it goes from there. So the first step of 25 leads is just to get you acclimated. The next week we're going to put another 25 leads in there. The following week another 25 leads in there. And the thing is, as you get going, some of these leads are going to filter out. They're going to be dead leads right out of the gate. Some of these leads are going to be processed into your follow-up system. And what you're doing right now is you're building a funnel. Okay, we're starting you out very small at the bottom, and we're building up with more and more leads in your follow-up system. That's where the money's at, is in the follow-up. Okay, you can call these leads one time. You might get an answer. You might not get an answer. You're probably not going to get a deal. But when the whole point of this is to get yourself into a system where you're calling these people on a regular basis so that you're one of the first people to make contact with them in the first place. And even if they say, I'm not interested in selling at this time, it's just a matter of, okay, you're going to contact them again at a certain point in time in the future just to let them know you're still here. Keep your name, our name in their minds, and maybe they're still not ready to sell. You call them again later, and the next thing you know, they're still not ready to sell, but guess what? You've planted the seed in their head, and all of a sudden one day they go, you know what, it's time to sell this house, and maybe it's not your time to call them back yet, but guess what? All of a sudden now, you're the first name they think of, pick up the phone, call you, you've got a deal that nobody else is getting. That's proprietary leads.
Yes. No, that basically says it all, and now we give you these 25 leads, and it doesn't just end with that. We'll actually give you scripts to use that we've developed ourselves and tested with proven results. And also, we're more than willing to educate you, practice the scripts with you, run the scripts. You'll find your own style to kind of take what we're doing and make it your own, so to speak, but we're going to point you in the direction with certain phrases we use when we're on the phone's way to approach these phone calls to get a positive result. And really, in the beginning, with the 25 leads we're going to give you and get you off to the races with those and teach you that spreadsheet, going to help you with the scripts. We're also going to, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Helping you with the scripts, train you on how to speak to these people, but really, we're going to keep it simple in the beginning. There's more elements that you're going to learn relatively quickly as we get through the process, but we're going to teach you and show you that your main goal here when you make these phone calls is that all you want to do is just set up an appointment for a follow-up, either a phone call from Paul or myself, or even better is get us an appointment to go in and meet them face-to-face in the house that we want to purchase. So that's basically where we're going to start you off immediately, day one. The minute that you meet with us and meet us face-to-face and you like us and we like you, there are 25 leads, show you the spreadsheet, get you trained up on how to make these phone calls, and then your sole duty is going to be to get on those phones and get an appointment set for me or Paul to either A, call them back, but B, preferably to go see the house and meet them at the house to make an offer for purchase. Anything you want to add to that little getting started piece?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, it's a very laborious process, but you know what? It's a baby steps process. The good news about the baby steps process is you're not starting from the very beginning of that tedious, laborious process of having to go out and generate your own leads. That's the part that we've already done for you. You're going to walk straight into having leads, hot leads, to work on. Okay, it's not like you got to go out there and start, like I said earlier, put your bandit signs out and set out, and do your online marketing and set up your autoresponders and get a squeeze page and do all that stuff. You don't need any of that. Okay, all you're going to do is come in here, you're going to get a list, you're going to start pulling down leads. That's the deal right there, bottom line. You go straight into basically phase 2 of being a real estate wholesaler, and we're going to work our way backwards. We're going to get you closing deals first, then we're going to start teaching you how to get the deals. Okay, that's the way it should be. Instead of saying, hey, this is how you go out and you try to find deals, and this is what kills most people. They go out there trying to find deals and they can't find any deals, and they say this crap doesn't work, and they give up and they're down the road doing something else. But when you get in here in the door and the very first thing you're doing is actually just finding deals, then you turn around and learn how to actually generate the information that you need to go out and get those deals. That's the ticket. And then from there, of course, obviously what we're going to do once you've gotten yourself in finding deals, obviously we're going to get you going in the direction of comping the properties so that you can understand the values, and all the way right up through to actually getting the contract signed and done yourself, being right there, the one-on-one with the seller yourself, and closing those deals. So it's a long process. It's been, what, 3 years, John, for us learning all this stuff?
Yeah, 3 years to put this together. And what we actually, Paul basically said it all in a nutshell, but I just want to reiterate real quick. We want to basically take what we've taken 3 years to figure out and basically just streamline you, get you started out the gate at day one with the ability to find a deal and skip all the BS, quite frankly.
Go ahead, you can say it. It's BS.
But Paul said, and I just want to add to it, it's like, we're kind of taking you to step 3, where most wholesalers that are going to teach you this business are going to start you at step 1. We're going to just give you what we know to be quality leads out the gate. Then we'll show you how we found those leads. Now, bandit signs Paul talked about, most of the programs out there are going to tell you to put out your bandit signs, go get your business cards, put your ads out on Craigslist, and those are all things that me and Paul do, but that marketing takes more time to bring in the deals than what we're going to show you that you can literally start an aggressive campaign with quality leads that are proprietary and exclusive to what we do, and take those and immediately start a funnel system. And while you have those leads that you're working through, day in and day out. And the more you can handle and the more time you're willing to put into this, the more leads that we could give you. Then you could simultaneously go ahead and maybe start thinking about what you want for a business card, maybe put some ads out on Craigslist. But you're not waiting for the phone to ring. You're not waiting for your, this amazing website that you're going to create to go and get yourself to page 1 of Google before you get a single phone call.
Good luck with that.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. There's no waiting around. This is a program, I think, for people that are aggressive that really want to get started today. And then you're going to put together this other marketing, but that's kind of secondary to just getting started. I think that's basically just reiterated Paul's point.
Yeah, awesome. And here's the best part about it. Not only are we going to get you started right in on phase 2 of the whole process, which is the actual, getting deals and closing the deals, we're going to freaking way overpay you. Literally, most guys would have you paying us for this privilege. Okay, we're going to actually be splitting deals with you right out of the gate at, I think, a grossly overpaid value for the limited amount of work that you're actually going to be contributing to the process of finding, getting, and closing a deal. But hey, you know what? We're fair guys, and we want to give you a fair shake right from the start, get you coming out of the gate, making some real money so you can see the power behind this and get you excited about this to the point where you want to stay on board with this and not, we don't want you out there, taking. It's probably going to take you about a month probably to secure, somewhere around 30, maybe 45 days even, to secure that first deal that's going to go to escrow and end up ultimately closing. So there needs to be some incentive at the end of that. And we don't want to see you having to work 30, 45 days, and then when it's all said and done, you're going to get a measly $300-$500 paycheck. Okay, we want to see you making $1,000, $1,500 on that first deal, hopefully. It all depends on how much the deal is going to ultimately produce in profit, of course. But with a fair shake of the percentage of the split of the profits, you have the opportunity to make some real money, see the potential behind all this right from the get-go, and getting your very first deal done. And as time goes on, we might make a few adjustments here and there to where you might be making a little bit more money, whatever. I don't know. We have to work that out still. This is a little bit of a process that is a little bit young in its stages of growth here, but so some things are still in the works. But hey, you know what? All you can do is get started, right? Figure it out as you go, and that's what we want to do for you. The exact same thing.
I want to add something to that. What we're offering here, a lot of people are going to approach it 2 ways. Either they're going to charge you for this information, or they're going to make you intern in their office for maybe 6 months, 40 hours a week, bringing in deals for them, but not paying you a dime. I mean, not that you're not getting value. You may get a very good education by paying someone for it, or you may get a very good education interning. But this is, this is the real world. This is the year 2014, and we know that who has time to work for free, right, Paul? And
absolutely.
With that being said, we did say that there is a cost. Do you have a vehicle and a cell phone? That's the basic prerequisites. Can you afford some gas, and do you have a data plan on your phone that allows you to make unlimited phone calls? But with that being said, we're actually looking for a special somebody, somebody that isn't going to just try this out for a couple weeks and say, hey, you know what, this isn't working for me, I'm done. We're going to put a lot of time and a lot of effort into you, and we want someone and the reason we're wanting to pay out the gate is we're actually looking to form somewhat of a partnership here. So we're not looking to just take anybody. We're going to basically hand-pick who we're going to pick, and we've got a very vigorous process for this, the person that we're actually going to bring in to doing this. And we want someone that is going to want more than just the training. We want somebody that's going to contribute to the business, and someone that wants to form a relationship with Paul and I. We're looking for someone that's willing to commit a substantial amount of time not necessarily hours of the week wise time. I'm talking more of a long-term relationship with us than someone who's looking to come in, get one deal, think they can do it on their own, and go out there and fail, quite honestly. Like, we want someone that wants to form a working relationship with Paul and I, and that's why we want to start paying you immediately out the gate with the deals that you're going to bring if you just follow our system. I believe Paul would agree with me on that. Is there anything you want to kind of add to that?
Yeah, I just want to say that what John said there, yeah, absolutely. We're going to run you through the rigors to see if you're, have the mettle to make this happen. Because what, quite honestly, this isn't for everybody. Not everybody's cut out for this. But you know what? Here's the beautiful part about it. You may not be cut out for it, but as long as you've got a couple of key factors within you that you could show us, that we could see within you, everything's learnable. You don't have to know anything coming in, so don't let that stop you whatsoever. Don't think that we need somebody with experience or anything like that coming in here. That's not what you have to bring to the table. Okay, we'll determine whether or not you have what you need to bring to the table, and we'll be the judge of that. But whatever whatever you do have, bring it to the table. Let's see it. Put it out there. Show it to. Let's talk about it. Let's see where you're at. Let's see where you want to be. Where you're going in life, what you expect out of life, and we'll show you what this can bring you. And that's pretty much it, John. Why don't you why don't you give them a little taste of how the deal split breakdown goes, so they can really kind of get excited about the idea of how much money they could potentially make here.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Well, a particular deal that me and Paul have closed. We're closing deals anywhere between, I don't think we've ever made less than about $4,900 on a deal, upwards to $30,000 on a wholesale deal, and that's a deal where we don't have to legitimately put a dime of our own money into it. That's a true blue assignment of contract with $100 earnest in escrow. I'd say we figure we average approximately $7,000 to $12,000 per deal. I think $10,000 is a very simple number that people can understand, and a typical deal is making us on average about $10,000. Well, to run the company off of each deal, obviously to create the leads and some of the marketing to bring the deals in, we have about 30% overhead. So the typical deal, closing, making $10,000, out of that $10,000, we're going to need to take 30% of that, $3,000, and that gets reinvested back into the company to keep these leads coming in on a consistent basis. The remaining $7,000 off the typical deal, we will split, me, Paul, and you, we will split 3 ways. So you do the math, that's about
$20,000. Splitting 3 ways right out of the gate? I mean, come on. Most people are going to probably want to pay you, what, 5–10% of whatever the net profits are, because we are actually going to start you out doing like almost virtually nothing, the very smallest part of this whole process, what we're going to start you with. And most people would say, well, that's only about 10% of the work. We're only going to pay you 10%. No, we're going to split it with you 3 ways, right up the middle.
Right away. Split it
right
3
on
ways.
both sides.
Yep. Split it 3 ways, but I want to bring it back to the point that Paul had made and that I had made previous to that, is that we're looking for somebody that's going to be able to take the system we have that's relatively simple and learn that. Learn to cold call, learn to knock on doors, and not be afraid to do it, number one. But that it's going to have a little bit more in mind than the average guy to say, hey, you know what? I want to know a little bit more about this business. I want to be involved in a little bit more about this business. So we want someone that's going to be willing to put in about 8 hours a week outside of the cold calling, outside of the door knocking, to come with me and Paul into we do a weekly mastermind group where me and Paul review what it is that's working, what it is that's not working, new marketing techniques, new marketing strategies, ways to generate leads, fresh leads, look at what we're doing. Is it working? Do we have enough leads coming in? A mastermind session, and these are very beneficial for Paul and I. We want someone that's going to want to be part of those sessions with Paul and I and contribute. And, me and Paul are both very open people. even the most inexperienced people sometimes have the greatest ideas. So we're looking at someone that's going to want to be part of those 2-hour mastermind sessions on a weekly basis. The other time commitment we're looking for, a couple hours outside of the cold calling, is to just teach you how to do the spreadsheet, check in with you, run scripts, make sure that you're saying the right things on the phone. And if you're not getting the appointments, because if you're not getting the appointments, what's wrong? What are you saying wrong? Because, you know, my rate of, I get an appointment generally 1 on every 8 calls. We've gone through people that have made 100 calls and doesn't have a single appointment, and they tell me this doesn't work, this doesn't work. I consistently get 1 appointment out of every 8 phone calls. I'm going to show you how to do that. Paul can back me up on that. We've had people in here that have made 100 phone calls, got nowhere, and they tell me it doesn't work. I take their list, and within 8 phone calls, 10 out of 10 times, I'll have an appointment out of those 8 phone calls.
From the very same list that they got nothing out of.
That they got nothing, and we're telling us that we can't help them.
But what we found from those people is those are the people that don't listen. Those are the people that don't want to put their heart into it and try to develop new ways of thinking in their mind and new ways of delivering those thoughts basically out of their mouth and to their prospect or to their potential seller here. And that's really the key thing, is it's communication skills and the proper way to speak to people, and learning the little nuances of what to say, what not to say, how to say certain things, you know, the right way to ask a question, the wrong way to ask a question, et cetera, and so on. So that's pretty much what we're talking about here.
Right, and that's why we want someone who's open and willing to come in and mastermind with me and Paul, to work with us in the office. You know, it doesn't have to be 8 hours all in one day, but they're willing to come in and do that. And also, you want to see how we find our leads. We want someone who's going to be willing to come in and do some of that busy work. We have different methods that we utilize to find leads. We want someone who's going to come in and want to contribute some of their time to doing some of the busy work here around the office and see the inner workings of the business. Because to me, that's someone who's serious about this. And then on top of it, when you get an appointment, there's a whole process after that appointment's set. Without getting too, because that's not the purpose of this call, but there's a whole process that we've put together, Paul and I, about that we need to go through this process before we even make an offer. Gather information about the house, comps, public records, look at the deeds, things of that sort. Well, we want to show you that too. But like we said, we don't start by showing you all of that until it's time to put one of these packages together. We want you to go out and start making appointments so that, quite frankly, you and I can start making money right away. But as need be, as like, okay, I've got an appointment set for you guys tomorrow, what's the next step? Well, the next step for you is get back on the phones and set another appointment. But we want you to say, you know what, but I want to learn more. Great. Come in tomorrow morning. We'll spend about an hour. We'll show you how we comp a property, show you how we put together the offers in the package. It's going to take some time for you to understand fully what that is, but eventually we want you to be able to take that call, set the appointment, put together the package for the offer, and go into that appointment. That could be months away, but that's not your focus. But we want someone who wants to work themselves to that point and make a commitment to us, because we're making a huge commitment to you. And we don't want to waste our time with somebody that that's not open, or that doesn't want to learn more about this business. Quite frankly, those people are a dime a dozen, and those are the average people out there, and we're not looking for average. We're looking for someone that wants to be exceptional. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, and then we're going to close this thing down here. I was going to say that as far as having the excitement about moving on to the next step and learning more, that's awesome. We definitely want to see that within a person, but we also want to see at the same time the willingness to say, okay, you know what, great, I want to learn that, but I don't have this down yet, so I need to get this down first, and then when I do that, I'll start taking a little trickle on that side over there. But somebody that's eager, but also has the patience to be able to sit there and say, yeah, okay, once I get this, I can get that, then I can get that, then can get that. And the beautiful thing about it is you don't have to sit there and wait to close a deal and make money so that you can get step 1 down, step 2 down, step 3 down, step 4 down, step 5 down, and then actually get out there and actually make a deal. You can be making deals along the way while you are just doing 1 or 2 steps in the beginning, 3 steps as it gets a little bit longer, 4 steps as you get a little bit farther along, and eventually over time, like John said, you're going to be able to take this thing from A to Z, and that's what it's all about. But the whole thing is you don't need to have to learn A to Z and get it down to a T so that you're perfect at everything that's involved between A to Z, because there's a lot. There's 28 letters in there. There's probably at least 28 different steps you're going to need to know. So exactly. So that's what we're offering here: the opportunity to make the money right away and to learn at a pace that makes sense to you and to us as well too, and to get the just basically get the perfection of this down one step to the next, and see the power behind it, and take yourself on to your dreams. With that, I'm going to be done here. I'm going to let John bring in one final word. And guys, sellahousearizona.com is where you want to go, and drop us an email, and we will get you started. Get anybody who's interested in there, and show you what we're talking about. Get you started with some leads. Get you working on the spreadsheet, and build you up step by step.
I think Paul wrapped it up perfectly there. Yeah, send us an email. Let us know what your level of commitment would be and why you want to do this business, and we'll set up a time to meet with you face-to-face and chat so we get to know each other and see if it's a good fit, and look forward to hearing from some of you.
Let me just throw in, if you've got a pen and a paper handy, you could just jot this down: 480-426-1198. In case you're not the kind of person to sit around and wait for somebody to hopefully open an email. Get on the phone. Give us a call. 480-426-1198.
That goes a long way. With that being said, good call, Paul, and I will hope everyone out there got something out of this and be hearing from some of you.
Yeah, look forward to talking to you. Bye.